in the 2025 pure chemistry internal. Alright, so let's read the question. So the question reads, use the periodic table to answer the following questions. Use questions. Alright, so let's look at question A. So question A5 reads, group O elements, excuse, group O elements include helium, neon, argon, krypton, and oxygen. Question A1 reads, what is the common name of these elements? What is the common name of these elements? Alright, the common name for this element is what we call what? Noble gases. So the common name for group O elements is what? The noble gases. Recall that all the common name for group O elements are called what? Noble gases. Alright, so moving on to question A2. So question A2 reads, give one use of helium. Use of helium is that helium is used for filling what? Balloons. Helium is used for filling what? Balloons. Alright, so moving on to question question A3. Question A3 reads, explain why these elements are monatomic. Explain why group O elements are what? Monatomic, one atom. So explain the structure of group O elements. Group O elements have a full outer electron shell. A full outer shell makes them very stable, so they do not gain or lose or share electrons. So here, I'm sure you have gotten the reason why they are why they are monoatomic. This is because they have a full in the outermost shell. All the electrons are full, and a full outer shell makes them very stable, so they do not gain, lose, or share electrons. Why? Because the outer shell is full of electrons, not missing any electrons in this case. Okay, so moving on to question 5b. Question 5b. What type of oxidize do these elements form? What type of oxidize does these elements form? What type of oxidize do these elements form? What type of oxidize do these elements form? Alright, so these elements form what you call basic oxide. Transition metals usually form basic oxides. Moving on to question B2. Question B2 reads, give two properties of transitional elements. Give two properties of transitional elements. Alright, so number one, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Then number two, they are malleable, which means they can be half any shape. Alright, that marks the end of question 5. Let's move on to another question. Let's move on to another question. So how do we hide another question? Okay, let's add another question. Let's add another question. Let's add another question. Let's add another question. Please, if you have learned anything, comment in the comment section. If you are enjoying the lesson, please comment in the comment section. If you haven't understood anything, please comment in the comment section there. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's add this question top of this one. Okay, so that it covers another one. Okay. Okay, now let's start the topic. Let's look at the question. Okay, so let's look at question A7 on the 2025 pure chemistry internal. 2025 pure chemistry internal. So question A7 reads aqua silver nitrate, which is AgNO, open bracket, close bracket, aqueous is electrolyzed. AgNO3, aqueous is electrolyzed using the inequality electrodes. Okay, so we have our setup here. We have the anode and our cathode here and our aqueous silver nitrate right here. Let's look at question A. Alright, so question A reads write substance which have been given there. In this case, the substance which have been given here is what? Aqueous silver nitrate. Aqueous silver what? Nitrate. So aqueous here comes in because it's mixed with what? With water. That's why you have aqueous there. Then the silver and the nitrate simply means that it must be made. So here the ions which are present in this solution are excuse me are silver ions and the nitrate ions. Now remember, since aqueous, this solution was aqueous is involved in this question, automatically that means that hydrogen ions will be present and the will be present. Why? Because each time a substance is mixed or diluted in water, the ions from the water there must be counted as well. In this case here, I made a mistake. I only wrote 2, but I'm supposed to write 4 ions for you to get all the 2 marks here. So you need to write the nitrate ions and also the hydrogen ions and hydroxide what ions. All right, so let's look at question 7b. Question 7b. All right, so question 7b reads construct chemical equation including set symbols for the electrodes reaction. Construct a chemical equation including state symbols for the electrode reactions. That's where reduction takes place. So reduction, dividing reduction simply means the gaining of what? Electrons. Meaning that whatever goes at this anode here, part here, whatever substance, whatever ions which is in this electrode here goes to the cathode here, it must gain what? Electrons. So that's where if you want a full lesson on this topic electrolysis, please WhatsApp me in the number in the comment section there so that you can join our online tuitions at only 100 kwacha per month where we dive in deep, we explain the entire topic from A up to Z. Remember, at Mutale TV online tuitions, we only teach what comes in the exam. Our example here, like I said, the ions present in this solution are what? Are silver ions and the nitrate ions. And the other thing is that we have we have also we have also the hydrogen what? The hydrogen ions and what? We also have the hydroxide ions. So how many ions do we have? We have 2. We have hydroxide ions and the silver ions and the nitrate ions. So now which ion, how do you determine which ion goes to the anode and which ion goes to the what? To the cathode. How do you do that? So first thing, you need to pay particular attention to the charges here, which these ions have. So for example, it has a what? A negative charge. And for example here, hydrogen has a what? A positive charge. So here, what is at the, where will my battery? Let me just do a quick one. So what is at the what will go at the anode is must be something which is what it has a negative charge here. So which means the ions which will compete to go to the anode nitrate ions and hydroxide ions. Why? Because they have a negative charge on top, which means they compete to go to the anode. And the ions that will compete to go to the cathode are hydrogen ions and the silver ions. Why? Because they have a positive charge. Remember, different charges attract each other. Different charges attract each other. So now, first, for example, let's use the anode as our example. So the ions which will go to the anode, we have said is what? Hydroxide ions and the nitrate ions. So now these two will compete to go to the what? The anode here. So now which ion will reach there first? That's the question. Which ion will reach there first? So the ion which will reach there first will be the hydroxide and the nitrate ions. Again, you need to what? To know the activity seed. Please, you need to know the activity seed. You cannot answer any question on electrolysis if you don't know what if you don't know any the reactivity series. And for you to learn that, you need to join our online tuitions at 100 kwacha per month. Okay, we end the live session here.